a reason why you feel a particular way, because there are traumas that happen in your life. Like Jamaica had like literally, Jamaica has a culture where you beat your pitney into shape, right?
Well,
And I'm not one to say don't. All my kids got spanked by me. Spank, not beat. There's a difference. There's a difference between spanking your child, because the Bible says don't spare the rod and spoil the child. But when you beat me, I talk about say I've seen parents in Jamaica fist, thump, lick pitney with half of this and one, and which is wrong. That's not how you discipline a child. And those kids grow up with those trauma, and those trauma affect them throughout their life. Who is dealing with those trauma?
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Who is helping them to get beyond those trauma? You have to have a system, and this is where the government can help, where they can put systems in place, or they can put therapy in place that can help those kids understand, look here, and if it's your fault why this happened, but here's why. Again, one of the things that's not talked about is the molestation of young kids in Jamaica. People don't talk about this, you know. And a whole heap of Jamaicans, no. There is a whole heap of youth where get, me talk about male and female, that get molested in a Jamaica by people in Jamaica, and there is no reproach for them except to take the anger out on another person. And how do you resolve that if you don't have therapy to help these people?
Yeah, it's
I agree.
and the culture is basically anti like therapy pretty much. It's like
That has to change.
yeah, every time your man say yo you go see a doctor, man say you're a madman.
Yeah, madman.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's done. I saw a video this morning with a man on top of a roof.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
saw that. I saw that.
a
Yeah.
man on top of a roof. Him say me would jump off of the roof,
Right.
and basically the fire brigade came and the police came and they said they will help him.
Right.
And the fire brigade guy went up 1st, and the madman, you understand, the sick person, go stab the fire brigade guy.
Right. Right.
You understand, stab him up, and the man come back down in the little there's something
Yeah. The bucket.
the
Yeah.
bucket, yeah, he come back down, and then the police go up, and the police go up with him gun, appointed, and then go up there. When the police go up there, man jump off in a tree. Luckily, the man not dead.
But you know what happened? Do we
But hold on, let me finish. You understand? It's like, so that's a perfect example of psychological problems that Jamaica have. You understand? And even once the guy actually stabbed the fire brigade guy, once the madman stabbed the fire brigade guy, people were encouraging the guy to jump. They was like, yo, just jump, man, just jump.
Yeah.
You understand?
And that's horrible.
But that's horrible because
That's horrible.
So people should have like that emotional intelligence to know, say, hey, this guy is sick.
It's sick. But that's the problem.
But
That's
even though I'm not defending him, he shouldn't have stabbed the
No.
fire brigade guy.
But
Just to be clear,
here's my problem with this, with this, right? Jamaican people pretend. Look here. So here's the problem. There are people don't understand in Jamaica. People don't understand that there are mental issues. Don't mean say you're mad somebody, because we have it if you say you're a madman if you have mental issue. A lot of people have mental issues. A mental issue doesn't mean that you're crazy. For example, and I'm gonna share something with you guys out clear and openly, right? I'm not mad. I'm pretty successful at what I do, right? However, I lost my mother a year ago in COVID. Within losing my mother was one of the most traumatic things that happened in my life, right? Within that time, I harbored thoughts of suicide. I actually crashed my truck, right? I've gone through and still is going through days on times when I sit down and I think about, okay, why am I here? I want my mother back with me. I think about my kids and I'm like, okay, them need me, so I have to do it. That's a mental problem. That's something where you have to seek help for and whatever. There are people in Jamaica that goes through that goes through the trauma of whatever, and they need that help from somebody to say, okay, look here, understand this. Say, okay, me know say I feel like this right now, but here why. This is a way out, or this is what you can do, or this is what. Jamaican society does not understand it. The minute you start thinking a particular way, they start saying, you're a madman and you're gone. And I think it's wrong.
Yeah, it is wrong. Also, we need to understand at the same time, like we said before, we want to state our opinion. Also, we have the solution. And based on what you're saying, Dave, you're absolutely right. Also, Shawnee, you're absolutely right. And just in my opinion, not agreeing to what you guys saying because you're here,
Right.
But you're absolutely right. But still, understand. Not to say that you guys don't know that,
Right.
but just to put it out there that the society and based because we're talking about Jamaica, we cannot act upon something if we're not educated about
it, right?
So
And which is what we're trying to do.
We as people need to educate people about these things, because
Right.
a lot of times, like we said, like anywhere you go, in any third world country, which Jamaica is not like a third world country right now, but you know what I mean.
Right.
Anytime somebody's acting out to normal behaviors, we think that they're crazy. We just push
Right.
them aside. We let
Right.
them sleep on the street. We don't try to find any help for them.
Right.
Right. So they need to be educated about these things.
Mental
and
illness.
Understand what mental illness is.
Right.
You
And
know,
it don't
because
mean you're mad.
in the black community, we do not educate our kids about those things.
Therapy is a good thing.
Therapy is a good thing.
Yeah.
So let me just read this because real quick. Enslavement of Caribbean people is why many Afro Jamaican men from all classes are socially struggling to be good fathers.
Yes, exactly.
Right,
So
yeah.
that's what I was saying
Agreed.
before. This is all about the slavery thing.
Yeah. It all goes back to that. It all
goes
ties back to that.
all of the issues that Jamaica have is because of the slavery thing, and it's
Emancipate yourself.
It's again, as Bob Marley said,
Emancipate
yourself
yourself
from
from
mental
mental slavery.
So
Yeah.
it's like, I really feel like because slavery is in our history, we need to come together as a nation
Yeah.
and say, yo, listen, this happened. We'll
Right.
make we try and move past
Move
it. Try
past it,
find
correct,
a way to
yeah.
move past it, because if we don't confront that,
Mhm.
we're gonna
We
keep-
can't go no further.
can't go no further. You're gonna always carry that baggage.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what you do, no matter what crime plan the government bring in,
Right.
no matter what, you understand, you're gonna always carry that baggage. You understand? I'm not saying like yo, we need to go to the UK and get reparation, because a lot of Jamaicans are talking about reparation.
Yeah. That's a different
I don't
story.
support that.
That's a different
You
story.
understand? I believe that Jamaica has the resources and the capacity and the people to actually make the country a first world country. We don't need anything from the UK.
Right.
Yes, we are an independent nation. We said we want to be independent.
Yeah.
We need to deal with our problems ourselves.
Yes.
So what we need to do is to come together as a nation and say, listen, we have this problem. What can we do right now
To resolve it.
Resolve it. And one way we can do it is by going into these communities again.
Yeah.
The church is like the first
Right.
part of it. You understand? Because the church is on the ground,
Right.
right? If all the churches can come together and say, yo, listen, we're gonna try to train somebody that can deal with psychological problem in a
Right.
community,
And use that to help.
use that to help everybody. So
Present the resources.
exactly. So,
Yeah.
and make people volunteer for doing. Because
Right.
if you in a time of need, you should have people that willing to volunteer
Right.
to give psychological help.
Right.
You understand? Slavery plays such a big part
Right.
in Jamaica, day to day, basically.
Life.
Life.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it's like they don't see it.
But it's the anger
It's-
and it
it's
passed
there.
on from generation to generation.
Yeah, it's something that's passed down, and it's like you don't see it. And I'm not too much of an advocate for this right now. You understand? Right now, I'm not too much of an advocate for it, because I believe Jamaica, we need some strong politicians. We need politicians that think on their feet. I believe that Jamaica needs to be a republic. We need to move away from the monarch.
Right. I agree.
And become a republic.
Agree.
You understand? And institute our own systems in place. That would be one way of getting rid of the mental slavery.
Right.
Because
But you have to deal with the inbound problem with the people there.
yeah, well, this is what I'm saying.
That's where the therapy comes in.
Yeah, the therapy comes in. But what I'm saying is that once you change the structure of the system, because guess what? Every time you go to the court, you hear God save the queen.
Yeah.
You know the queen was the one that enslaved you.
Yeah.
You understand?
But God save her.
God save her. So you understand? Every day you go to the court, you go to the police, you talking to the you notice.
Yeah.
and-
Governor General. Yeah.
Like all the symbolism that's there.
It's still there.
It's still there.
I
Like, the
understand, yeah.
symbolism is still there.
That
Like,
needs to be broken down.
well, I'm not, as I said, I'm not too much an advocate to get rid of it right now. I'm not saying to break it down right now. The reason why I'm saying that is because we don't have politicians there right now that can write a proper constitution,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
I want when time Jamaica has the economic strength, when Jamaica has the political strength,
Right.
for us to say, yo, it's time for us to leave the queen.
Right.
But not right now. Don't do like the other countries. Look at South Africa.
Right.
South Africa did that, and they're failing right now. Right? You have all these other countries that say, yo, we running away.
Right.
And they wind up in this problem at the end because they have this hybrid system.
Right.
You understand? They're like, oh, we want to be British and we want to be American.
And you can't. And
You
Jamaica
can't.
is following the same footstep.
Jamaica is trying to follow that footstep.
Yeah.
You see, Canada and
And
Australia,
right.
they kept the system.
Yeah.
Even though and they're smart about it. They're
Right.
like, yo, you know what? We're gonna keep the system because they know like if they break away, even though Australia is advocate for like being a republic,
Right.
they're like, yo, if we stray away, we don't want this hybrid system. They want to leave when they feel like it. But what I don't want to vary off a topic.
No, you're
But-
right on point.
What I'm saying is that, like, let us like over time get rid of that system because once you
Right.
get rid of the system with the tie with the UK, no people can actually uplift themselves because every day you see these symbolism. The police, they have a big crown on their head.
Right.
If you see the police, then you have the crown on
The shoulder.
the shoulder.
Yeah.
You go to the square, you see Queen Victoria statue there.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
And these are the people that enslaved us. And
Right.
these are the people that said, yo, if you're black, this and that, like,
Right.
you need to be a slave.
Right.
And Jamaicans are holding that anger underneath.
Right.
So the way we can relinquish that anger is just by, as a people coming together and say, yo, look, we need to start. This is the problem. Let's do the solution. Because you can't find a solution until you know what the problem is.
Right.
So exactly.
So guys, let's wrap it up on this last quote real quick. And I know Dave, you want to make a point on that, but real quick, right? And I really feel it's important. And Shawnee can answer it first because I feel like he was right there with
With what he was saying.
what he was saying, right?
Yeah.
So in slavery, men were only to be breeders and not fathers
Right.
for at least 179 years from British,
Right.
which is
From England.
from
From
England,
England, right.
Yeah.
right? In terms of that, and I feel like Shawnee was right there in terms of talking about not wanting to leave
The British
the
system.
British system and understanding
Right.
what it is. Me personally, just real quick, what I feel as though like sometimes, in order for you to get away from these things and these angles, sometimes you need to just separate yourself.
Separate yourself. Right.
But I could be wrong or I could be right.
So, yeah.
But that's just how I feel about it. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, yeah, you can separate yourself, right? But you have to be smart about it. And this is the thing what Andrew Holness said. And I agree with him. You have these PMP people, right, in the PMP party, like, yo, get rid of the British monarch. Go do it. Like I think it's Barbados or Antigua, one of those countries. They're planning to get rid of the Queen right now, right? I'm like on the stance of like, no, Jamaica, don't do it yet.
Right.
You understand?
You
I'm
need to
like,
be
you need to be
emotional
smart.
strong.
You need
Yeah.
to be smart because when you be, because you see these politicians down there, right? They are already corrupt, right? So they are already corrupt. So they're the ones that's gonna make the law. They're the one that's gonna look into rewriting.
And if you get rid of the Queen right now, then
yeah,
how you,
so that's the thing.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I like that safety net with Jamaica, or it is currently, where they can go to the Privy Council, right, the highest court in the land, which is in the UK, and the Privy Council could say, hey, yeah, this is wrong, right? You understand? And the Privy Council can make the ruling. I'm not saying like it's a good thing. I'm not.
right, but it's at least a safety net.
It's a safety net. It's a safety net. Like if Jamaica get overrun,
Yeah.
the guy that come into power is the Governor General. If the Governor General come into power, is the Queen, right? So you have that safety net, right? And I believe that, like, if it's an overall thing, it's not something you should do right away and radically do it. Because if you make stupid decisions really fast, you're gonna get screwed. Like for example, right?
Yeah.
Jamaica changing out his money fast from the British pound to the
To
dollar,
which hurt them.
which look at the Jamaican dollar today.
Right, because Cayman didn't.
Exactly.
And Cayman is way more successful
Well, I
in
think,
terms of their economical structure.
yeah, I'm not too sure what currency the Cayman use.
The Cayman and dollar, but it
The
based
Cayman
upon
and yeah, okay. But what I'm saying is that, like, Jamaica making those fast moves after independent, making a lot of moves,
bad moves.
they backfired.
Mhm.
You understand? And the one move I don't want them to make right now is to dissolve the system completely right away.
But they're not in a position to do that because they're not structurally set up to do that.
Yeah,
They have to do.
No, they're structurally to do that. Cause
No.
no, let me finish. Because you can do it. Because even in Guyana, they did that.
Right.
Guyana did it immediately. So the thing is this, right? Guyana did it immediately after the independence.
Right.
Jamaica hold on to it. So all of the laws that's written in Jamaica right now are written in the Queen's name.
Right.
So you're gonna have to have politicians go back and rewrite those
Rewrite them.
politicians.
Amend
because-
those and rewrite.
yeah,
them,
because if you read Jamaican laws, they're in parables pretty much. Like,
Right.
oh, God save the Queen, etc., etc.
Right.
In Her Majesty name, you have
Right.
this law, and she did this and she did that. Like in Jamaica, you have a thing in the Parliament called the mace.
Right.
Right? I don't know if a lot of people know this. The mace that's in the Parliament. Without that in the Parliament, right? Parliament cannot conduct business.
Right.
The mace represent the Queen, the power of the Queen.
Right.
You understand? You have a guy that walk in every day with the thing on the back of his shoulder and he put it down there.
Right.
And without that thing being in there, they can't talk.
Right.
You understand? So Jamaica is already like tangled with this system.
Right.
The police is tangled with the system.
Right.
You're gonna have. So you're telling me like all this money that we spent on buying police cars and painting on the crown on it, we're gonna spend money right away and remove the crown
Right.
off of those police cars?
Well, here's how I feel about it.
like-
Here's how I feel about it. I think the way forward for Jamaica, right, is this. First of all, we have to fix, because the biggest problem that Jamaica has right now, the biggest problem is not an economical one. It's the crime in Jamaica. And the crime is perpetuated by the young people who are lost and supported by the women that support that system. Jamaica is a very hurt and broken society in terms of emotionally and mentally. And I think that the way forward to Jamaica is that with the police doing what the police is doing, there should be another underlying system for that mental reinforcement of Jamaican society, where in which there are those counselors, there are those sessions with people that are going through all of this. Economically, you can help the people in the ghetto in terms of providing more opportunities for them so that they can actually write. Because again, when people don't have opportunities, they will do things outside of what they would typically do if there's no opportunities. However, there are people who get the opportunity, but because of the mindset, they still want to live in that place where all of the crime and stuff exists.
Comfort.
Right. So I think the first step would be for us to look at ways how we can get the people the emotional help, those people that are abused and hurt, to help them to see life in a different light. Then exactly what you were talking about in terms of Jamaican politician getting the balls, and I will say the balls, to stand up and look at a structure where we can become a republic, where we can look at it and say, okay, we need to move away from the monarch, and here's how we move away from the monarch. And you do it in a structured way.
Exactly.
You do it very slowly, but you do it in a structured way. So we got to get our emotional health in place, because Jamaica is sick emotionally, right? You need to get that emotional health. Once you get that emotional health in place, then people are not, because the people that are there right now committing the crimes, like the bad man them there right now, most of them are last.
I won't call them bad man.
Well, most of them are them that's doing the crime, right? Most of them are last, and you're not gonna tell them anything other than what they know right now. So here's what's gonna happen: either them gonna wind up in a jail, or them gonna wind up dead. Those are the two options for
that's
them.
the thing, because
But-
certain criminals, either two we have.
Right, they're locked up. They're locked
Yeah.
into the position. However, the generation following and the people that's coming now, if we put together a structure to try and help those kids coming up right now to understand, you see that bad man there, him no work none, him only that dead or went up in a jail, but here is another path for you. And the hurt that you feel, here is how you resolve that hurt, right? And show them another way. Then those kids can start turning things. It's not an overnight solution, but it's a solution where mentally you can help people to see another way forward. And then once they can see another way forward, maybe not in 2022, but maybe in 2025, we will have a Jamaica that's turning around to a place where mentally these youths are more stable.
That's way too optimistic of 2025.
It is optimistic,
Yes, but, like,
but I'm saying if we start the work now, and if the government and all the forces that may be put the work in, we can start seeing a change.
I think you see with Jamaica right now, what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
All I have to say to the people, you understand? Even though the crime down there, don't be scared to go back home. Try to own a piece of Jamaica.
Right.
You understand? Go and buy land. You understand? Even if you hold the land for 20 years or whatever, because Jamaica is not going to stay the way it is right now.
It's going to change.
It's going to change
Right.
because you have people like me,
Right.
you,
Right.
Jay.
Right.
You have shows like this on YouTube. You have people on YouTube that's talking about this issue.
Right.
You have a lot of YouTubers coming out now. Big up on yourself. All the YouTubers that talk about
The crime and violence.
in
Right.
Jamaica. I really appreciate them.
Right.
Putting the issues to light. And
Right.
social media is putting all of these issues to light.
Right. Right.
It's gonna change eventually.
Right.
You understand?
It's gonna happen. Yeah.
So that's why I said like you don't go back. Don't when I say go down there right now and try.
Don't
to,
put your life at jeopardy, but
yeah, exactly.
own something.
Own something.
Yeah.
You understand? Get a piece of land down there. You understand? And then eventually, when time everything died down, cause it's just a wave,
Yeah.
Jamaica is going through that wave because good old America here had.
We
that
went
wave.
through it.
America went through that.
We went
wave.
through it. I remember.
America had not even that. Like all the way back, you had prohibition.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
No,
so
no,
prohibition was like a big wave in America. So
Yeah.
Jamaica is going through that crime wave right now.
Okay.
So once it dies down, you understand, people gonna be able to go back home, and then it's gonna get good for a little bit, then it'll get back bad.
Well, I
So-
remember coming into America. I
Yeah.
remember in Newark here, so you have to be careful when you walk on certain. Right now, you can walk anywhere in Newark, and you don't have to really work.
No, that's
Well,
not
certain
true.
places.
Hey man,
Yeah, that's
listen.
not
No,
true.
I
Yeah.
know.
I'm not walking nowhere in Newark.
No, I can walk.
I'll drive
certain
through
places.
Newark.
Right.
Yeah,
But
I drive through Newark. I agree.
But
Yeah.
listen, there is a lot of
I
places in
agree.
Newark that you can go right now that I remember back in the 90s, like right there downtown Newark, Avon Avenue. Back in the 90s, you couldn't walk on any street in Avon Avenue and you don't see a stolen car coming through. They made a movie about it, New Jersey Drive. Every starred in that movie. There was so much stolen cars. How much stolen cars that you see around Newark right now? Very few, if any, right? It changed. So you're right, Sean. Jamaica is gonna change to a place where we can get back to the point where we can enjoy Jamaica again. But the point is that if we don't put the work in now, that change can be 5-10 years from now, or it could be
Look,
20-30 years
Look,
from now.
I think, as I said, right, if you want to get rapid change, the people of Jamaica need to get involved into the political process. Stop saying like
The
stop-
mindset has to change.
Yeah, let me finish. Like, stop saying you're PMP. Stop saying you're JLP. Start saying you're Jamaican.
Yeah.
Start having some type of national identity and stop affiliating yourself with a party.
Right.
Right. Start saying, look, I'm a Jamaican,
And
I
what's
wanna
best for Jamaica?
Yeah, I want my kids to grow up in a better Jamaica.
Right. And who
The
gonna make
more-
Jamaica better?
The more you have people get into the political process, the better.
Jamaica
You
can
understand?
be.
The better,
Agree.
because if you have people that's going door to door down there, starting little organizations down there, going door to door, knocking on the doors, trying to start a party, trying to start a third party, because I'm an advocate for Jamaica starting a third party.
Right.
Right? Start some party and say, yo, look, we're going to try to go back to parliament and we're going to put one of these parties in the minority.
Right.
Right? Make them have to make some room for an extra party. Stop
Right.
make two party today a fool, you know.
Right.
Right?
Definitely.
Start taking back the country. You
But,
understand?
we see these things are happening throughout the world where you have the different parties and what we call it up here. We call it
Republican,
Democrat, and all
right.
these things, and you have all these things
You have
going on.
independent party,
And then
but
at the end of the day, to me personally, I feel like it's just a game. They play with everybody, and then these people go home, they make the money, and then they're
Politics
like,
is
whatever.
politics.
Politics
Yeah.
is politics.
Politics,
Right.
But overall with the show, I feel definitely the message that I hope that everybody get from this is that that people need that emotional intelligence and be able to create more parties of basically teaching about or even learning facilities of teaching of mental illness, because
Yes.
there is a lot of great women out there that is dealing with these things and know about these things, because women are more they will go research things because
Right.
based on their bodies and so on.
Right, and
they
they're
will go do
thinking
their
animals,
research,
yeah.
and they have it, but there's nothing there in the area for them
Right.
to actually go and actually get the help that they deserve.
Right, the
But
resources is not
the
there.
resources is not there, so they're stuck with these things in their mind,
Right.
and they grown up with these pain and these hurt, and they don't know how
And
to
they gotta
deal with
resolve
it.
it, yeah.
So overall, I feel as though that the message of this episode is basically mental illness and getting the help that you need, and hopefully that one day we could get rich.
Yeah.
And we could be the one to go
to help, right.
to help. Even though I may not be the right person to teach or to talk about mental illness, but we can have people that can actually deal with that.
I was gonna touch on that point. I was gonna say it's more people in the diaspora
That has
take
to do
that
it, yeah.
initiative
Right.
Definitely.
to go and do that.
Can I say something? I know Shawnee B might not agree with what I'm about to say, and a lot of the people that I respect on the internet that put information out may or may not agree with what I'm about to say. But what I'm about to say is I want to reach out directly to the gunman them, right? To the people them that's really the violence producers in the community, because a lot of those guys are hurting. A lot of those guys has hurt that they don't even understand that they're hurting, and they're feeling things that they don't even know what they're feeling. And they're dealing with things that they don't know. But the only way for them to get over those things and to satisfy that is to get that gun and it's go take another person's life. And I think that as we look at this problem and we try to find a solution to resolve this problem, we have to reach out to those guys as well. We have to say to them, listen, here are the resources, and provide the resources to help them, because some of them have. I remember this one guy, and I listened to a whole story about him, like Doggy. I don't remember if you remember. I think one of the guys that I listened to, and he talked about Doggy. And when I listened to this guy, very intelligent. One of the guys that I would think that if he was a writer, I would sit there and read him book all day, all long, because the guy's diary was so beautiful in the way he described the things that he was going through and how he felt. But this guy was one of the most dangerous people that Jamaica has produced. And my point is that there are youths out there that have the gun and that's bossing it. And those youths have so much more potential and things that they can do, but they choose to deal with the gun and whatever. And maybe they feel like they have no other alternative. And I'm trying to say that there is another alternative. If we provide them with resources to see another way other than what they're doing, I would love for them. And let me tell you something. If you are one of those guys that's out there busting the gun, please feel free to reach out to us on livewireradio.com or in the comment section, because we would love to have the conversation. We would love to have you on the show, and we would love to discuss what is ailing you and why you feel you have to do the things that you do in order to get the results that you get. Because again, you put your life at risk, and you put your family lives at risk, and you put everybody. I remember you were playing something the other day about a young man.
Guys, we need to really finish up.
Yeah,
Like, we're going to
wrap it up.
We need to wrap it up.
Let me
man.
finish my point. You played something the other day about a young man, right? He was on the thing, and he had the gun, talking about, yo, me have my gun, and me go kill people and so forth. That man, that young guy I saw there, is truly somebody that's hurting, and he don't even understand why he's hurting or why he's doing the things he's doing.
Well, overall, you know what they say? They say, hurt people that is hurt other people.
Correct.
So for me, it's just mental. We need to start dealing with the mental part of it, and have that understanding, and have more ways of teaching and spreading this education and that piece of things, because we need people to be educated about it. And I feel like that's where it starts. It starts with us understanding
I think that's the start of
what
the
the
solution.
issue is, and that is the solution in general. So
But
Yeah.
people, make sure to like, subscribe, and make sure to put on that notification bell. Share this video on Instagram, Facebook. Share it with a family member. You understand? Put in your WhatsApp group. Make we have a conversation about this issue, and
We keep it going.
keep it going. Yeah.
Listen, you listen to 95.7 FM, Livewire Radio 95.7 FM, and livewireradio.com. Again, we keep putting these information out. We're just trying to help. We love Jamaica. We love Guyana. We love the Caribbean, period. And we have to get to a point after we finish the series on Jamaica, we're going to dig into Trinidad and these other islands that's having similar problems. Because at the end of the day, man, we want us to get to a place where we can really, really understand that there's a better place to be. So again, this is Livewire Radio 95.7 FM and livewireradio.com. Please tune in, like, share, and subscribe. We got to get the message out. Thank you. Livewire 1.